All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Misfit Corner Comics Presents the Hero Hour live stream. I am the artist known as Andrew, and I welcome you all to the show. Oh, damn it. I forgot to put on the mute.
Oh, my God.
Hey, at least we're on time tonight. On time, and even if we did forget that one basic little step. But that's all right.
You.
No, I say we. I say we because you didn't remind me.
It's not my job.
As the co-host, and everybody, hey, Avery's here too. Say hi, Avery.
I hate you.
I know you do. I know you do. As the co-host, it's your job to, make sure I'm, doing everything the way I'm supposed to be doing it.
Fine, I quit.
Okay. Again?
As co-host.
Okay.
I'm not the co-host of anything.
You're the perpetual guest of honor. That's what you are. It's my perpetual guest of honor. Whew. Hey, Kodiak. He says, I drew and inked for 8 hours straight today. That's fantastic. Hey, I saw on Ethan's stream where he read out your comment. That was pretty cool. I was sitting there going, keep going, get to my comment. And he didn't get to it, but that's okay. You know what we're talking about, Avery?
No.
Oh, he was Ethan made a video about SJW Spider-Man, taking a swat at him with one of his Cyberfrog pages, and he was going down the Twitter responses, and a whole bunch of people said, "Man, thanks for sharing with us. This is great," because he thought he was, taking a swipe at Ethan, and in the long run, and
yes, I watched the video.
Oh, okay. Well, Kodiak, he read out Kodiak's Twitter response.
I didn't notice who was mentioned.
Well, so you just weren't watching close enough. So by any chance, did you go by the comic book store today?
Nope.
I did, and I picked up a few things.
There's no reason for me to go to the comic book store today.
So I picked up a few things, and I think I'll go ahead and share those with you first.
Sounds awful.
Yeah, I know, but I'm going to share it anyway. Let's see. Actually, I don't know if these came out this week or last week because I haven't been to a comic book store in several...
Yeah, there's no point in me going every week.
So, yeah, not every week, but I took advantage of the fact that I had a little bit. I had time on my lunch break to go by, but I'll show you guys what I picked up. I picked up the new Wonder Comics #1 Young Justice, and I was going to pick this one up anyway, but they had a blank cover, so I went ahead and picked up the blank cover version. So I'm very happy with that. And I read it already, and it was actually pretty damn good. I enjoyed it. I'm not a big fan of Connor, Superboy, but, it was him and Tim Drake and Impulse that were the original Young Justice. And, I enjoyed that title.
I didn't understand any of that.
That's okay. Comic shop news, who cares? Oh, for some reason, I missed an issue of Oblivion Song, but they had both of them available. So I picked up issues 10 and 11 of Oblivion Song. I absolutely love this book. It's a beautifully drawn book, and the story is actually pretty good. And then the last thing I picked up was Image Comics Midwest #2. I picked up issue 1, which was actually really good. And this is just a really pretty comic. I really enjoy it. So I look forward to reading the second issue. May even do a review of it. We'll see. I'm so far behind on my comic reviews. It's a shame. Kodiak says, except for the 10.5 minutes I spent on the floor when I fell out of my chair laughing at your video. Oh, I'm glad you like that.
I hated that. Oh my gosh.
That's all right. It wasn't for you. It was me.
It's so awful.
Yeah, I know, but that's okay because I had a good time.
Not okay.
I had a great time with it.
That needs to be punished.
I'm sure it does.
I need to think of your punishment.
all the people involved in that video should be punished, right? Me, the kitten, and the 2 guys that were encouraging me to do it.
I was telling you not to do that.
Well, you know, sometimes when you say no, it sounds like you're saying yes, you know?
Me and Todd were saying, it's too far. Like, the little thing Todd did was funny, and now you're taking it too far.
Well, it needed music, and I added music, and it needed something else. It needed a kitten, so it got a kitten in it. So, all right.
Kittens are awful.
Well, I don't know. Well, to some people they are. This was the last sketch I did. This was a really, really quick, very, very, you know, loose layout idea. And this scene may actually come to fruition in book 3. It's something that may or may not happen, but I just felt like drawing it, and there you go. Okay. Now we're going to start on my next page in my Sketch-A-Day sketchbook. And I haven't a clue what I'm drawing today, so you guys are just going to have to be patient with me while I figure it out. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time, but let's see. What do I want to draw? You know, there are new characters that I need to design for Chapter 3. I could probably work on some of them, but I don't know. Well, actually, you know what? There is one character that I need to work on. You know what? Let me grab my reference really quick, because I did start designing this character at one point, so let me see if I still have that sketch somewhere. Oh, you know what? Where it would be if I had it? Of course, it's never something I have right in front of me. But that's okay. Probably make YouTube videos, so we have a list, a host of all the things we work on, archived and recorded somewhere. This is the tiger woman that I did that one sketch of that one day. She's actually going to be a character in book 3, and I think originally the character who was going to appear in the book was a guy, and I just like the way she looks, so she's going to become, you know, she's going to become the new version of that character. Just a matter of finding where I hid that sketch from myself. Actually, you know what? I just thought of something. I know where it's at. Hold on. All right, everybody, hold on a second. Found it. It's the very first one on the top of my thing. Remember this young lady that I drew? I'm actually going to work on a version of her. All right, now we get started. Whew. So anything new and interesting happening in your world, Avery?
If it was, I wouldn't talk about it on air.
Hey, P.S. Melter, how's it going? How about you guys? Kodiak, Melter, anything new and interesting happening? I'll have to think of something. I'm sure something happened. Cross Comic says, we need a hero. Absolutely. How's it going, Rick? How's it going, guys? This character is very much a strong, very strong character. I got to make sure I at least give her some feminine hips, even though she's a strong character. Kodiak says you're ornery today. I think it's more or less Andrew pisses him off all the time.
No, I'm just tired.
Oh. Well, that's true, too. Yeah, that'll do it to you.
That and I hate Andrew.
Yeah, that too. Cross says, nope, nothing new. And if there was an in doubt, wait a minute, it says, nope, nothing new. And if there was, I doubt it would be interesting. Well, you never know. We live some rather boring ass lives. Oh, you know what's funny is I was thinking about another story time episode to do where we tell a story about our youth, and I was thinking I'd have to come up with a story to tell. If Todd wasn't here, I'd have to come up with one about Avery. I actually do have an Avery story I could tell. Avery's thinking to himself, oh my God, what kind of story would he tell?
You need to not.
I was going to tell the refrigerator story. Not
interesting.
No, it's not interesting, but it's interesting.
Not really.
Well,
it's not.
It could be.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, PS Motor says, not too much, just getting things ready for Friday. Touch base, and we will have new artists joining the show, including Rick here. Oh, excellent. Excellent, guys. That sounds awesome. That sounds very awesome. You know what they're going to draw during the next Drawing Blood live stream?
No.
Hulk Hogan is going to be the topic du jour for the next one. So that could be actually pretty cool. I give an invite to Donald, and he can't till February, so watch out. You might get to compete with a pro. Very cool, very cool.
Yeah, a story about me lifting a refrigerator is not very interesting.
Well, I mean, there was build up to that, There was other stuff that was going on that was that could be considered interesting. The whole reason why we needed a refrigerator in the first place,
I don't remember.
You don't see? That's why I wanted to tell the story.
It doesn't seem that interesting.
Well.
Hey guys, I picked up a refrigerator.
He picked up a refrigerator, and people were very impressed with how strong he was.
Not that it was empty, by the way.
Yes, it was an empty refrigerator.
They're not that heavy.
Well, there was a life lesson in the story as well. All right, I'm going to tell the story, and then it'll just end with that part of it. I mean, it's mostly a story about me being young and dumb, but Avery's in the story. So, but when I moved out of my parents' house, I got an apartment with another friend of ours, a friend of mine. I don't know if you consider Yuli a friend of yours.
He's an acquaintance.
He's an acquaintance, yeah, but he was a good friend of mine. And when I moved out of my parents' house, I moved in. I got an apartment with him, and the apartment complex that we were moving into was not really the greatest in the world. It was a really crappy.
Pizza Hut wouldn't deliver past like 8 o'clock.
Yeah, Pizza Hut wouldn't deliver there past 8 o'clock.
Several drivers have been robbed and shot there.
Yeah, but it was cheap, so forth. But the funny part is I went in and I did all the signing of the lease and all. He came in and signed it and got the keys and so forth. And when I initially got everything set up, he asked me. He said, "So did you go check out the apartment?" I said, "No, I don't need to do that. I know what it looks like." I mean, my aunt lived in the apartment complex at the time, and
another friend of ours.
Yep. So I knew exactly what the apartment looks like. He said, No. Did you go look at the apartment that we're moving into? And I said, no, I just signed the lease. And he's like, okay. And when we got there, There was a couple of very blaring things that were very wrong with the apartment. The first thing was the front next to the door was a big, huge window, and there were no blinds. So anybody that walked past just looked right into our apartment. It was, it was sad. And the other thing was, when you walked into the apartment, the refrigerator was in the middle of the living room. And I guess they were in the process of replacing the refrigerator, but they didn't finish. So it was sitting in the middle of the living room, and whatever food that was still in it was rotting. So when we started moving in the first day, you got this rotting refrigerator in the living room, and it smelled horribly. Well, needless to say, the apartment complex took care of the refrigerator problem right away and brought us a new one. And we were on the second floor, and the guy showed up, and he was like waiting for another person to come to help him bring the refrigerator up into the apartment. And Avery was like, "I'm not waiting," and he just grabbed the damn thing and carried it up to the second floor. And the guy was really impressed. "Oh, wow, yeah." I was like, that's why you have big, huge, strong friends, in case you need somebody to lift up a refrigerator for you. Am I right, or am I right?
Well, an empty refrigerator doesn't weigh that much. And when I was 18...
Yeah.
It's like lifting something that heavy was just nothing. I was just like, whatever.
Yeah, but you've always been a big boy and could do that kind of stuff. Me, So,
I think I still lifted weights then. Even though I was fat.
But yeah, that's a life lesson that you learn where you go and you check out the apartment ahead of time, that kind of stupid thing. But I didn't realize that that's what you were supposed to do. I mean,
well, you didn't know.
Yep, I did not know. That was a life lesson I learned the hard way.
See, not that interesting.
Yeah, well. All right, wait a minute. Let me see what's going on. We got some stuff happening in the chat. All right. P.S. Melter says, I gave an invite. Okay, I read that part. P.S. Melter says, I hope the story ends with Choco Tacos. Oh, God, I wish.
Yeah, no, it's... I lifted a refrigerator. See, it's not that interesting. And it's not like I picked it up and like carried it like a baby up the steps. I walked up a couple of steps, drug it up a few more, walked it up a couple of steps, drug it up.
I remember you lifting the whole thing onto your back and carrying it up the flight of stairs on your back.
Is horribly wrong.
Well, that's just how I remember it. That's not to say that's how it happened.
It's not reality. No, it's just I drug it up the stairs.
So in other words, I remember you being a heck of a lot stronger than you actually are, is what you're saying, right?
I don't know what you're remembering. It's not quite reality.
Okay.
That's for sure.
All right.
I don't know what goes through your head, dude.
Uncanny says, I might not catch any of the D&Qs this week. I've challenged my sleep schedule to try to work on my book during the day. In fact, I'm about to go to bed after I watch you guys a little while. Okay, well, that's cool. Trust me, getting enough sleep is very important nowadays.
I never do.
Rick says, so was this a bar fridgey or a real fridge? No, it was a real fridge.
It was a full-size fridge.
It was a full-size fridge, yeah.
It was a regular-size refrigerator.
And he picked that.
It's just one of those cheap ones that completely empty. It maybe weighs 100 pounds. Maybe 150. Like you could lift it up a couple of steps, take a few steps back going up, then lift it up a couple more, then lift it up a couple more, then lift it up, It wasn't the Herculean task.
That I remembered? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, yes, exactly. That's the reason I'm like, it's not that interesting, dude. Fine, you know what? Go ahead, tell it. See how dumb you sound.
Well,
I'm trying to help you.
I remember it being I remember you lifting the thing up on your back and carrying it up the flight of stairs.
That did not happen.
Well, that's how I remember it.
But that isn't anything close to reality, dude. That's not what happened.
Well, in my mind, when I tell this story to people, you know, you lifted it up over your head. You walked it up. Oh, damn, I forgot. You walked it up this flight of stairs, and the maintenance guy that was there helping us was like thoroughly impressed and was like, "Whoa!" And
the maintenance guy wasn't very big.
No, he wasn't. I remember him being like an old man or something. So
he was an older dude and slightly smaller than average size.
Yeah. All right. Well, at least that part I remember correctly. Not to say that I remember anything else about it correctly.
Yeah. See, and now the class is like, Andrew should have been listening to Avery and not said, yeah, see, guys? You think I'm being mean to him sometimes. I'm not.
No. He's right. Okay.
I'm trying to save him from himself.
Kodiak says, face it was a cooler of beer.
It was a cooler of beer. That would have been empty by the time I got to the top of the stairs, too, back then.
So did Avery have to line draw over every bit of your pencils before adding color? Or did you do hero digitally? Oh, that's just mean.
Oh.
Goodbye, Kodiak. Goodbye.
It's all inked. You're inked at all.
Just mean, you know?
I don't know.
So we did some very strange things in that first apartment. When I moved in, I brought everything from my bedroom at my parents' house and moved it into my room. So my room in the new apartment looked exactly like my bedroom at my parents' house because I just brought everything over. And in the living room, we had like a desk with a little TV on it and a chair, and that was it. And it wasn't even like a good chair. We eventually got a couch that somebody gave us, but it was like a lawn chair.
Yes. Yes. It was like a lawn chair sitting in front of a TV with Todd's Sega Genesis.
That's right. And no no blinds, no curtains or anything. It was really sad.
Well, the first time you had blinds, that's when people started like knocking on the door trying to get people to open the door. Like, I'm not opening the damn door, dude.
Do you remember that night that we left you alone?
Yeah. I was like, man, I
should have you tell this story because all I remember about it is some guy was banging on the door, telling you to let him in, and he was drunk. He was drunk off his ass. And
no, it wasn't. No, it was two people.
It was two people. Okay.
One person's trying to stand off to the side so you couldn't see him. It's like, idiots. I grew up in a trailer park. I know this trick. I ain't opening the door.
Well, the funny thing was when Todd and I got back, we opened the door and you were standing there holding the baseball bat. We were like, what's going on?
Oh, yeah. I didn't know who was trying to come. I just heard the door, man. I'm like, nah.
It was not a safe place to live.
No.
Actually, I don't think it's changed much other than the fact they turned it into like a college apartment complex where it's mostly, or they tried to cater to college kids. They tried. I don't know if that's the case or not, but
I don't know.
Yeah, I've never been back since I left. One of the things I remember is when this was at a point in time where my girlfriend, who later became my wife, was pregnant and had moved to Tallahassee to go to school. And I got a real job and moved out of my parents' house. And when she and I reconciled and we were getting back together again, I was going to move out and I was going to leave the apartment to my friend Yuli. And I had already, set up somebody else to come in and live with him. And there's a story behind how that quickly fell apart. I'll tell that maybe some other time. But when we broke the lease, I remember going into the office and was finishing up the paperwork, and I paid my portion of everything. And the first thing the lady says is, "Are you leaving us any furniture?" And I'm like, "Sure, there's a couch you could keep." They were very happy that I was leaving behind a couch.
That's awful, dude. That place was awful.
It was awful. It was really, really bad.
Really, really dangerous too.
Yes, yes. Yeah, that part where they were very happy that I was leaving behind the. Yeah, it was.
I've lived in some rough neighborhoods too, dude.
So. Oh, I know. But it wasn't so much that it was a bad neighborhood and that it was rough. It was yeah, whatever. Okay, fine.
Yeah, your naivety about it.
I was very naive about that place, and I remember we had a friend who worked at a Hardee's, and this is back when Hardee's did fried chicken. And
in apartment complex.
Yep. He would come over at like 2:00 in the morning and bring a whole bunch of leftover fried chicken, and that's what we ate for like 3 days.
That was like the best fried chicken, though.
It was.
Fried chicken was so good.
It was so good. And every now and then he would, like right before his shift was over, he'd throw in another batch just so that he had some left over that he could bring to us. That was wonderful.
Yeah.
Good. He was a good man. He was a good man.
I didn't live there, but I was there most of the time.
Yeah, you were there a lot. You know? That was probably your junior year in high school?
Junior or senior. But I was there. I was there a lot.
Yeah.
Even during school week sometimes.
Yeah, it was kind of cool to have a place to hang, you know? But you used to hang with our mutual friend before I even moved in there, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
There, crashing at his place or your place one.
Yep. All right, I think it's time to refill the ink in this pen because it's dry.
After being in places like that so much, and some of the places I live, some people think I'm weird. If I hear someone knock at my door, when I answer the door, you can't see my right hand.
Yeah.
And because it's out of sight, and you can't see it or what's in it.
Well.
Always.
Man, look at that. You can definitely tell when you're running out of ink. There's nothing, barely anything left in that cartridge.
Oh no! What did you do?
Oh, I just refilled the ink cartridge for the brush.
Oh, okay.
It's going to take a while for the ink to get down into the brush part, so I'm going to switch pens.
I'm starting to wake up now. I haven't been awake that long. The guy coming to fix my sink and all the plumbing.
Yeah.
Didn't get it finished today either. There was something else he forgot to bring because it's a little more complicated than what he thought it would be. Just the way it's built.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, I need this," so you have to leave.
Well, that's like when we had the plumbing issue when we first moved into the house, or right before we first moved into the house with Granny. There was a leak. You could hear it underneath the house, and so we turned off the water and we called the plumber, and he came out. And turns out there was a huge ass hole in the pipe, and he had to go through the wall in order to get to it and repair it. And everything he needed, he did not have, so he had to make a trip to Home Depot and so forth. And
yeah, the same here.
Well, sometimes you don't know what you're going to need till you get in there and start screwing around, you know.
And it's just 2 days out here where he's here for like an hour or 2 hours, and like, oh, it's like, oh, God dang it.
Yeah, something else, right?
Yeah, I know. Which someone else being in my home, keeps me from doing other stuff like taking a nap or working.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I'm not leaving.
Nope, I understand that too.
The area. Like I'll sit in the living room and watch TV or something, but I'm not like coming into the studio and working where I don't know what's going on.
D says, and that's why we have a Second Amendment.
Yep.
That's right, D. Welcome, man. How's it going? Ugh. All right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my capture card and webcam came yesterday. It did arrive.
Oh, very good. Very good. So when are you going to start working on your setup? I'm assuming it's after the guy's done and everything's finished with that.
Yeah, and
Okay.
once the cables arrive.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
But for the capture card, I needed a 20-foot USB extension.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to order that at Amazon.
Yeah.
They couldn't get that at Best Buy.
Yeah, that's why I say I miss Tiger Direct, man. You could always go in there and find.
I know, dude. I miss them too.
From what I understand, they went online fully, but
They were Tiger Direct was online before that store was open here. Anyway, I knew who they were from their online presence. Them Newegg.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish the store was still here, the physical store, because it was awesome.
We actually had a couple of them out here, didn't we? We had the one over by Regency, and then we had the one at the town center.
Yeah, because that's who bought CompUSA.
Right, right.
They wanted to try having physical stores, I think. I think their site's still around. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I honestly have never been there. But I always remember going into those stores, getting exactly what you needed, or finding something you didn't even know you needed.
It was one of the few places that you could go and buy like the entire Adobe suite if you needed to, physically, when Adobe still sold it physically.
Yeah, that tells you how long ago this was.
A lot of other art programs and stuff, in 3D animation programs and other things, like professional tools, you could go in there and buy a physical copy of the disc.
Yep.
That around here, no one else had this stuff.
Yep.
And any cable you could possibly need, even if it was something that was outdated and you wanted another one. Because some people do use older systems for certain things.
Yeah.
Some gamers collect older systems. That way they're not trying to run emulators to play old PC games. They just run an old PC.
Yep.
Well, if something happened and you need one of those old cables, you could go there.
Yep. Yep, I miss those stores a lot. Those were great for finding just anything you needed.
I know.
One of the things I always thought was weird about them is if you went in there looking for like an HDMI cable, they'd have like a 10-foot HDMI cable for a certain dollar amount, but then you could buy a 20-foot for half the price. It was so weird. But
sometimes you could, yeah.
And that's because people would go in there looking for specific sizes. Then we'll just raise the price on those, and then the other ones are like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
And the prices that were on the prices that were on the price tag was never the price that it rang up at the register. It always rang up differently.
Oh yeah,
and it was usually less. It was usually much less.
Also, it was one of the few places I could get large format printer paper.
I never looked for anything like that, but yeah.
Well, because I've been using the large format printers and large format scanners for a long time. And when I wanted to make like really high quality print at home, and print like 11 by 17, like a high quality semi-gloss like photo paper for making prints or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the places we could get it.
Well.
And there was a photography shop also that was near Ready Arts. They're gone too.
Yeah.
If they're still there, they don't carry the like the Ilford photo printing paper for printers, like the stuff that's made by the same people that make regular photo paper for, like the darkroom.
All right, hold on a second. There was stuff in the chat. I go back and read it. Kodiak says, "Wait, what? What was mean about it? Oh, we were just picking on you. That's all right." He said, "I didn't mean that as a poke. I legitimately was wondering you two's process. Did he have to ink your pencils into Photoshop? No. My stuff was completely penciled in ink when I gave it to him. So."
Yeah.
D said the thing about the Second Amendment. Then Uncanny says, "Andrew, you had already planned to diffuse the light on your table, or had you not thought about that yet?" Actually, Avery had suggested a new type of lamp for me. I just haven't gotten it yet. Right now, I'm just using this old-fashioned, regular light bulb thing, and it's always been bad. But he suggested one of the circular magnifying glass. What is it with the freaking A. You all know what I'm talking about. I just have to go out and buy it, because I haven't bought it yet. But that is part of my upgrade, is that I'm going to get a new lamp. And then Rick says, "We had Tiger Direct near me as well. That place was awesome. Hate that they closed their stores down. They're still online as far as I know." That's so funny. Is CompUSA was fantastic. Then Tiger Direct bought them, and then Tiger Direct closed them. And we knew Tiger Direct was an online store. I've never gone online to Tiger Direct ever.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I love the store and I love getting stuff from them, but it was more of the going into the store and finding something than it was going online and looking for it.
I still prefer brick and mortar if I can to buy something, but so many of this, it's getting more and more things that we need because it's a niche and retail has shrunk a lot.
Yeah. Now
it's now even harder to get a lot of those things. And heck, I wanted a capture card. I wanted a capture card and a specific web camera.
And Best Buy didn't have it.
And every Best Buy in town carries the capture card and the web camera. The thing is, though, they all sold out for Christmas and had not restocked yet.
Yeah.
3 weeks after Christmas, and no one still had any in. So I had to order it.
Now I have ordered stuff from Amazon in the past, but it's usually never my go-to,
Yeah, and a 20-foot USB extension cord I had to order because they could only get me a 12 at Best Buy.
Well, not the USB, not the HDMI, but the other one, the one that looks like a phone jack, but it's not.
Mm-hmm.
I have like 3 of those that are like 25 feet. Those were all bought. Yeah. Those were all bought from Tiger Direct.
Yeah. Oh yeah. My old scanner was FireWire because at the time it was faster than USB.
Yeah.
That big, like that Microtech scanner I have. There's people out there that still want that scanner, even though it's as old as it is.
Yeah.
And I got it with my very first PC, which was a Pentium 4 processor with a gig of RAM, which is a huge deal when I did that. You had a gig of RAM. Like, it was a big deal.
Now we got terabyte stuff,
Yeah, it's like, I would be working on an image at 20 by 30 at like 600 or 300 DPI, a 20 by 30 photo manipulative print in layers where my image was like a gig.
Yeah.
In that thing, I could do it. Sometimes some things would slow to a crawl. But some people were like, "Oh my God, you can actually do that? Work on an image that big?" They're like, "Yeah." And now it's nothing. It's just nothing.
Yeah, yeah. All right. All right, turn the camera back on. Well, last episode, we went through the Marvel's previews. I thought we'd take an opportunity to go through the DC previews for January. If you don't
Okay,
mind.
I'll start. I'll stop sharing so I can look and go.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. That looks like crap. No, I'm kidding. It's a lot of talented people doing some of the uninspired stuff for their careers.
Well,
that cover's dynamic, though.
it is. Well, this is the
you see more dynamic stuff at DC than Marvel.
Well, this is the new Young Justice Returns. This is Patrick Gleason, who I love his stuff. So it's fantastic. I was very happy to get that issue. Let's see. I'm
just not buying anybody because of the bad behavior of some people. So
yeah. Let's see what Cody says. How did Avery ink under your inks?
I didn't ink under his inks.
I sent him what he did. All his colors were done on my digital copies of the pages, and what I did is I scanned each layer into separate layers, so he was able to manipulate the panels by layer when he did his coloring. So that's how he could make the backgrounds like diffused colors and so forth. So
yeah. And I could still do that even if it was all one layer. It just makes it easier that it's not.
I made it easier for you.
It just saves me some time.
All right, so this is DC previews for books coming out in January, which of course we're in January. Some of these may have already came out last week, but we'll take it. Well, actually, no, they came out last week and this week because this is Wednesday. Geez, I forgot what day it is. But needless to say, we start with this new line of comics from Brian Michael Bendis called Wonder Comics. And the two comics that are solicited this month are Young Justice #1, which I picked up, which I love Patrick Gleason's art. And I was a big fan of Young Justice as well. I mean, when this first came out, it was like Humberto Ramos on art. It was Ethan Van Sciver. It was Todd Knock. It was Peter David writing. I mean, it was a fun comic, and the art was good, and the art was fun. I mean, it was
that wasn't Young Justice with all those people. That was Impulse, wasn't it?
Young Justice was also Todd Knock and well, maybe you're right. It was Impulse, but a lot of them did do Young Justice stuff. So, yeah, you're right. That was Impulse.
Yeah, you're
okay. Yeah, well, I got one of the names right.
Yeah, because when you went from Ramos to Ethan, I was just like that was Impulse.
All right, we're gonna start this all over again. All right, let's take a look at the the DC.
I have that issue of Impulse where Ethan came in.
Actually, I originally owned a piece of art from that issue of
cool.
Impulse. So, all right, we're going to start this all over again.
Okay.
All right, guys, let's take a look at DC's previews for book shipping in January. Yeah, once again, total professionals here.
Very dynamic cover.
Very dynamic cover. Yes, yes.
You actually don't get a lot of stuff like that at Marvel.
Yeah, yeah. But so this is the launch of their new Wonder Comics imprint, which is helmed by Brian Michael Bendis. And two of the books that they're launching in January include Young Justice #1 with art by Patrick Gleason, which is fantastic, and Naomi #1, which is an all new a new comic series. I've seen some of the preview art for this. It looks good, so I'm willing to pick up the first issue to take a look at it. So. Then we have from DC Black Label, The Other History of the DC Universe. I've read the description. I've read about it, and
no thanks.
No, it's. I'm sorry. It doesn't sound interesting at all to me. But oh well. Then we have a one-shot Mysteries of Love in Space. Well, cover by Jolie Jones, which is not bad. Okay. But this is one of those prestige format one-shots where it's how many? Does it say how many pages? 80 pages for $9.99. You know, a little bit too out of my price range, but it's got some good art in it. Tom Grummett, Kyle Hotz, some good artists listed. Then we have the Superman 100-page Super Spectacular. This also is on 96 pages for $9.99. Wait a minute. It says Superman 100-page Super Spectacular, and it's got 96 pages. Somehow we're getting ripped off with this. I don't know how, but somehow we are. Action Comics 106 and 107. You got covers by Ryan Sook and Steve Epting, and Francis Manable, and Patrick Gleason. Okay, well, who does the interior art? Oh, Ryan Sook is doing 1006, and Steve Epting is doing the art in 1007. That's kind of cool. I love Ryan Sook's stuff. Then we have Adventures of the Super Sons number 6. Well, this is a limited series, and I picked up the first 2 issues, and I liked them both. But knowing it's a limited series, I'd rather just wait and get it in trade, Oh, well. American Carnage number 3 by Brian Hill and Leonardo Fernandez. I like Fernandez's art, so I'll be willing to pick this up when it comes out in trade. I don't know if this is going to last very long. It's one of the new Vertigo titles. And
isn't Brian Hill leaving comics?
He may. I think that's one of the things that was said recently. And we have Aquaman 44, Kelly Sue DeConnick.
All I have to say is run, Forrest, run.
Batgirl 30 and 31 with Paul Peltier on art and Norman Rapton. I like Paul Peltier's stuff, but this will probably be a cheap trade that we pick up at Ollie's at a later point, Batman 62 and 63. Let's see. Got art, Travis Moore, and art and cover by Mikkel Janin. Ooh, there's a variant by Frank Miller. Okay.
Look at that Tom King, though. Written by Tom King. No, thank you.
Yeah, I know. Batman Beyond number 27 and 28. Dan Jurgens, who's always good. Art by Brett Booth. Oh, that kind of kills it for me right there. Covers by Pasquale Ferry, who I love his stuff, and variant covers by Dave Johnson and Chris Stevens.
What do you have against Brett Booth?
He doesn't like us.
Neither does Dan Jurgens.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he hates us.
Well. Batman Creature of the Night number 4 by John Paul Leon. I got the first issue of this out of a dollar bin. I still have yet to read it. But it looks really nice.
Oh, I bought issues 1 and 2. Then I stopped buying it because Kurt Busiek.
That's another one you have to wait for an Ollie's bin.
John Paul Leon's one of my favorite artists.
Well, he's got I love his stuff too, but if people hate you, they hate you, and they don't want you to buy their books. And
I was buying the Batman King of Fear also because I love Kelly Jones's art, but the inconsistency with DC and how they want to hold people to certain standards.
No.
There's all these rules for Ethan, but other people can do all kinds of stuff and nothing.
Well, this is another limited series which is wrapping up, so it'll be put out in trade eventually, and that'll probably be how I end up getting it. So let's see what else we got here. Batman and the Outsiders number 2, another Brian Hill book. The Batman Who Laughs number 2, Scott Snyder, Jock. I looked at the first issue. I really wasn't impressed with the art, but once again, it's a limited series. It's only 6 issues, so a lot of these limited series, they look good, and I'd rather just wait till they put it out in trade, because there's not gonna be any shortage of the trades when they come out,
A lot of the stuff is better to wait.
Yeah.
Especially hardback.
Then we have Book of Magics 3 and 4. Now I picked up issue 1 because they had a blank cover, and I like Tom Fowler's art, but I missed issue 2, and so I'll just end up waiting for trade. But that's one I actually really enjoyed the first issue of this. Then we have Border Town number 5. I wonder if that's even going to come out. I know they canceled the series, but if this is January, then this book is probably already done. It'll be interesting to find out if it actually comes out or not. Then we have Catwoman number 7 where Jolie Jones is back on covers, art, and writing. I hate to say it, but I got the first issue, and it was the colors that killed me on it. You know? But we'll wait for a trade. Cover number 5, David Mack on art. We'll have to see. Curse of Brimstone number 10, which I believe this is actually getting canceled with issue 12 or 13, which is sad because I liked the art. I like Philip Tan's art on it. I like the story, even though Justin Jordan hates our guts, you know?
Annual before it's been out a year.
Yeah, well.
Why?
Art by Mike Perkins, though. That might be actually really good. But again, it's written by Justin Jordan, who hates us, so.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Let's see. Damage number 13. Damage is, from what I understand, it's still going. So I know they're canceling Sideways and Curse of Brimstone, but Damage seems to be continuing on. So, but this got Aaron Lopresti on art, so, and I like his stuff. So, but then again, I stopped buying with like issue 7 because it started to become the same story. Let's see. Deathstroke 39. Not a big fan of Deathstroke, so. It's all right there. Detective 995, 996, and 997. I wonder if they're gearing up for some anniversary issue sometime soon. Maybe. Peter Tomasi on writing. Doug Mankey on art. So Doug Mankey, I love his stuff too. So this will make a very nice trade when it's all collected. You got Doomsday Clock number 9. You know what? I was at the comic book store today. They had issue 8, which is one that I did not pick up, and because I just missed it. And I said, that's all right. I'll wait for the trade. I mean, I picked up the first 7 issues. You'd think I'd keep going, but no, it's all right. It'll be another.
I think I stopped after 3 or 4. I just said,
yeah. Well, it's going to make a great collected edition when it's all done. The art's going to be gorgeous, so. Let's see, The Dreaming number 5. I got the first issue of The Dreaming, of course, blank cover, so that I'm willing to give it a shot to have as a blank cover, and I liked it a lot. One of the new characters that they introduced was really fantastic. She was very, very different, and I liked her, but I think I missed the second issue. It's one of those things where your store, if they don't get it, or they don't have enough of it, and you miss it, you're not going to buy the 3rd or 4th issue because you don't have 2. And that's what happened with the Book of Magic. They didn't have 2 anymore. So this is perfectly fine, waiting for a trade. Electric Warrior number 3, written by Steve Orlando and art by Travel Foreman. This is, again, another 6-issue limited series. I really like that cover. It's actually kind of nice. Travel Foreman did the cover, too. I mean, if the interior art looks as good as this would definitely be a pickup in when it gets collected. So we'll see. Then we have Flash 61, 62, and 63. I'm not sure what's going on over there on the Flash series, but, I was never a big Flash fan. How about you, Avery? Do you like Flash?
No.
No? All right, well. The Flash Annual number 2, Heroes in Crisis tie-in with art by Scott Collins. I like Scott Collins' stuff, so we'll see. Let's see. Freedom Fighters number 2, art by Eddie Barrows and written by Robert Vendetti. I like the cover, but once again, it's another limited series. Ooh, Avery! Goddess Mode number 2. Zoe Quinn and Robbie Rodriguez.
Oh, can't wait.
Ah.
I am fully erect now.
Oh, goodness God gracious. Green Arrow number 48. Was never a big Green Arrow fan either,
No.
It's a nice Kevin Nolan cover, but definitely used a photo in the background, but that's still cool. Actually, no, he probably drew that based on a photo.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Green Lantern number 3, Grant Morrison and Liam Sharp. Now, have is anybody talking about this new series? I mean, we're getting ready to get up to issue 3, and I don't think I've heard anybody really talking about it. So I don't know if it's.
I'm sure the art's awesome.
Yeah. Well, it's going to make a great collection when it's.
Oh, I'll pick it up at Ollie's for $5.
They're going to collect it. So, all right, Harley Quinn number 57, which I believe this is a crossover with the Heroes in Crisis thing.
Yeah.
Old Lady Harley number 3 and 4. Yeah, I know. Hawkman number 8. Now, this is something that's interesting. Hawkman number 8 still has Brian Hitch on art. I think he's done every issue. And it's not listing as a limited series, so this may be an ongoing. When they collect this, they start collecting this, I'm definitely going to pick it up because Brian Hitch is always awesome, but
he's an amazing artist. He's really, really good.
But I've never been a Hawkman fan, you know.
I'm not a Hawkman fan either, but
no.
Brian, I think I bought the first issue.
Oh, you did? How was it?
It looked good.
Did you read it?
No, I bought it because Brian Hitch drew it. It looks cool.
All right.
I do not read most of the comics I buy. I buy them for the art.
I understand. All right, then we got Heroes in Crisis, number 4 and number 5, now a 9-issue miniseries. So they've expanded it from 8 to 9 issues. Who did the cover? Trevor Hairsane. That's a pretty graphic looking cover, but I haven't heard anything good about this story. It may be great when it's collected. I mean, Clay Mann's a pretty awesome artist, but I'll probably wait till it's collected. Hex Wives, number 3 and number 4. We know that's definitely tops of Avery's list. He's into all the DC Vertigo stuff, especially the SJW Vertigo stuff. Is this a limited series? No, it doesn't say.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, they'll say cancel it.
Yeah. House of Whispers number 5. When I picked up the Sandman issue that was introducing all the new Sandman universe comics, House of Whispers was one that it didn't pull me in at all. The Dreaming, Book of Magic, both of those were really good. House of Whispers didn't really do anything for me, so I don't know. Injustice versus Masters of the Universe number 6 of 6. Freddie E. Williams II on art with Tim Seeley writing. There's an audience out there for this stuff, you know? It's not us, but there's an audience out there. Justice League Dark number 7. I've heard a lot of people say good things about this.
From what I can see.
Yeah. There's a variant cover by Kelly Jones, which would probably be very cool.
Oh, yeah.
Justice League 15 and 16, which actually has Jimmy Chung coming back for some art, which, once again, collected would be awesome. Justice League Annual number 1, Daniel Sampier and Juan Albaran. I have no idea who either of those guys are, but those are the artists of the Annual. Yeah, it's probably going to be a pass for me. Justice League Odyssey 4 and 5. I've heard good things, but I'll wait for a trade. Looney Tunes 247 and Mad Magazine 6. Lucifer number 4. The Lucifer was the other one that did not pull me in at all in that preview book, which is kind of sad because, you know, if done right, the character's pretty cool. But I don't know if this new series is worth it. We'll see. I'll probably pick up a trade eventually. Martian Manhunter number 2 with Steve Orlando writing and Riley Ramos on art. That sounds like it should be a good team, but I don't know. Well, it's also a limited series. Well, it's a maxi series, 12 issues. So let's see. Nightwing 56. Gary Brown on art. Okay. Pearl number 6 with Michael Gaydos. Is this a limited series? Oh, I guess it's a continuing one.
That painting looks cool.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Raven, Daughter of Darkness, 11 and 12. That wraps up that series. Pop Man on art and Brett Booth on covers. Yeah, it's all right. Red Hood and the Outlaws, number 30. Pete Woods on art. Okay. See, I'm not into any of those characters, so. Scarlet, number 5. Alex Maleev. This is a limited series, so they'll be collecting that soon. ScoobyDoo Apocalypse 33. Who was it? Was it D or was it Avid that said this is a really good series? ScoobyDoo Apocalypse?
I don't remember.
Yeah. That's probably one I'll pick up and trade eventually. ScoobyDoo Team Up 45 and 46. Gotta love Big Barda in the animated style. Very nice. God, could you imagine if they had done the Mr. Miracle series in this animated style? It probably would have been horrible. I'm sorry.
Don't bring that up. I have a lot of hurt feelings about that Mr. Miracle miniseries. I was actually reading it.
Yeah.
By issue 10, I was just like, "What is this?" So I was like, "This is starting to suck." So I stopped, and then I saw the reviews for the next issue, and he's got like Darkseid eating from the vegetable tray. Isn't that silly, Billy? Isn't that
silly,
funny?
Billy.
Darkseid's eating from the vegetable tray. And I was just like, thank God I stopped buying that series, because if I had read that, you would have seen the first ever actual comic book video of me, and I would have been spurging out, like going full retard.
That might have gotten you some new viewers, you know?
I would have lost my poop.
All right, Sideways number 12, which I believe it ends in issue 13. Silencer 12 and 13, which I think of all the new Age of Heroes titles, Silencer was probably the best. And I'm glad it's still going. So, and I'm glad they finally kicked what's his name off of the art. I know he's only on it for like 3 issues, but man, that made me turn away really quick.
I was actually reading. Silencer was one of the books I was reading.
Yeah.
I was reading that and enjoying it before I stopped buying all DC. I was reading Doomsday Clock.
Yep.
I was reading Mr. Miracle. Those first 4 or 5 issues of Mr. Miracle are so good, and then it just goes downhill.
Oh, this is interesting. Suicide Squad number 50 with a cover by Jim Lee, and it says here, final issue. I guess that means they're going to reboot it.
Yes.
Like they do everything else. Suicide Squad Black Files number 3. Scott Neaton is one of the artists. That's pretty cool. I'm not a big Fraser Irving fan.
That cover's kind of neat.
Yeah, it is, but I'm his interior stuff never really worked for me. And we have Supergirl number 26 with Kevin Maguire on art. Not bad. Superman number 7, Ivan Reis, Joe Prado, and Brandon Peterson. I'm sure that'll make a nice collected edition.
All very talented people. I just don't like the Bendis writing.
Yep. Then we have Teen Titans Go number 32, which has its fans out there. Teen Titans 26. This is still, ever since this new creative team, Adam Glass and Bernard Chang, took over the series, I've been getting every issue, and I've enjoyed every single one. So I like this team. This is probably one of the...
Bernard Chang's a really good artist. I like his stuff.
Let's see. Ryan Benjamin is going to do the Teen Titans Annual number 1. I may have to check that out, too. Terrifics. Now, I like Victor Bogdanovic's art, but Jeff Lemire hates our guts. So
yeah, I was actually reading that one, too.
Yep, buying it every month and reading it until Jeff Lemire told us we were all, Nazis. Yep. Titans number 32 and 33. No, not really interested. The Unexpected number 8. I thought this was, final issue. I lost this one after issue 2. I mean, I got really excited when they first announced it, and Ryan Sook was on art.
Yeah.
And he was done. I don't even think he made it through issue 1, which is kind of sad. But all right, United States versus America Incorporated, Murder Incorporated, number 5. Okay. Wildstorm 19, Wonder Woman 61, 62, and 63. And then we get into the trades, and that's it. There's a few gems in there. I'm looking forward to going through the Young Justice again, because that was a lot of fun. But all right, everybody's abandoning us. Now that we're done.
That was a pretty long thing to do in your stream.
Yeah, I know. But like I said,
not interact.
I was done with the drawing, and nobody commented either. So I guess they just sat. Those who stayed watched and listened. Those who jumped, I understand. But we may not do that again. I may make videos of that at a later time.
Previews,
that's but not on stream.
That's not a good bit for stream.
Well, other people do it, and it seems to be,
Who?
Not any of the ones you watch, I'm sure.
I watch Ethan. Tug.
Well, I know there are comic book review channels that do previews, that do preview reviews. So, but I've wanted to get you involved in doing preview reviews for a while now. So, Rick says he found it interesting. So I appreciate it, man. Sounds good. If I can reach out and touch one person with something from our videos, it's worth it. I was setting you up. Man.
I'm too tired. I'm just cranky.
All right.
I'm too tired, man. I'm sorry, guys. I'm too tired to be like witty. I'm just mean and grumpy today.
Well, you guys want to see what I put together yesterday?
Guys.
Look, guys, it's Legos. This is so awesome.
Is it awesome or is it a Lego? There we go.
There's a video for this. This is the Justice League anniversary party.
Is that Dynamite?
That is Dynamite. No, well, it's not Dynamite. It's Wonder Dog.
Oh yeah, Wonder Dog from Blue Falcon.
No, from the Wonder Twins.
No, wait, what? No, get him close.
But it's got hot girl. Yeah, dude. All it is a little blue dog.
Wait, the Wonder Twins had a dog? I remember the Wonder Twins had a monkey.
No, not the Wonder Twins. The who are the two kids in the Justice League cartoon that had the dog?
Oh wait, did they have a dog?
Yeah, they had a dog.
Oh wait, I'm getting the kids in Space Ghost confused. They had a monkey.
Cross says, "Not sure I want to be touched by you," and D says, "Please don't touch me."
See?
All right, guys, I promise. Yeah, Wendy and Marvin. Rick's got it right. Wendy and Marvin had a dog, and that's him. And then, of course, the set came with Green Arrow.
On the Super Friends?
Super Friends.
The Wonder Twins had a dog.
Have you ever heard of El Dorado?
Yes, he was one of the... He was pretty racist. I'm going to be honest. He's actually him and the Indian dude were pretty... It was pretty racist. They were...
Okay.
Yeah, they were racist.
I don't remember him, so, I mean, it's a pretty unique thing. But
yeah, he wasn't in a lot of them, and he was in, like, the later ones.
D says, you really want to kill your audience with Legos, so...
Yeah.
And then Rick says, I think the dog was gray. He may have been. He might have been. But the Lego is blue. So, all right, guys. Well, I appreciate you all hanging out and following along. And, we're still trying to, after over 800 videos, actually now it's 900 videos. After 900 videos and over 130 live streams, we're still trying to find our place in this world. We're still trying to figure out our identity and what we're doing. But the bottom line is we're making comics, and we like making comics, and we like sharing it with you guys and showing you guys us doing it. I don't like to even sit down anymore and sketch out if I'm not on camera. If I'm not making a video to share with you guys,
That's weird.
Yeah, Wendy and Marvin had the dog. The Wonder Twins had Gleek, the alien monkey. That's right. See, I'm so glad you guys are out there. You're keeping me honest. But bottom line is, we appreciate you guys coming out and hanging out with us. And we're going to do it again on Friday. And I promise on Friday will be more interesting. Maybe.
Well,
I don't know. Maybe we'll
going to be here, or is it going to just be me?
Damn. Guys, he went there. Did you see that? Thank you, Avery. I appreciate you hanging out with me. All right, everybody. Have a great night. Get some good sleep, and we'll see you here on Friday. Bye.
Bye, guys.